You probably see this and you're probably like, what the heck? So let's go ahead and start with this. So this is going to be one of the videos for your notes. Now, I want you guys to copy this box right here. That's going to be explaining everything what is an exponent. So in the exponent or in the expression 2 to the power of 3, the 2 is going to be the base. And the 3 is going to be called the exponent. And then it's going to talk about your parentheses. So symbols like parentheses, brackets, and those squiggly lines, I don't know what those are called, are examples of parentheses. Okay, those are symbols. Now, whenever you have exponential notation, that is whenever we have multiple numbers of the same thing. They're all getting multiplied, but we, instead of writing 2, 2, 2, you can actually change this 2 to the third power. Now, the most important thing here is PEMDAS. Okay, so you can just write PEMDAS on the bottom of everything just so you know that we're doing that. But it's just the order that you do operations because we're going to be doing order of operations today. Now, you always want to start with your groupings. That's going to be anything that is enclosed with the symbols that we just saw on the top. So it can be your parentheses, the brackets, and the squiggly lines. Okay, so that's going to be your symbols. And those are going to be containing certain things. Okay, so you always want to do that. After that, you're going to be doing what we called the exponential expressions. Those are going to be anything that has any exponents to it. Okay, so that's the second part that you're going to do. You're going to evaluate those, whatever it gets you. Once you're done with those, then you're going to move into multiplication and division. Now, multiplication and division are both in the same level when it comes to PEMDAS, but you always go from left to right. So it is literally the same level or priority, but it's going to be from left to right. The last thing that you want to do is going to be addition and subtraction. And same thing, you're going to go from left to right when it comes to priority because they're on the same level. All right, with all that being said, let's go ahead and do a couple problems, and then you guys going to go ahead and do the rest of the problems just for this notes. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be doing two problems. I'm going to be doing B, and I'm going to be doing C over here. The rest of the problems you guys going to go ahead and do because I believe you guys can do the other ones, okay? So it's not a lot of problems. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So let's go ahead and start with B. We're going to follow PEMDAS, so we're going to follow parentheses and everything. So the first thing that I have to do is, so this is high priority, low priority. All right, so we're going to start with parentheses. We're going to go ahead and solve whatever's inside of my parentheses, so whatever's inside here, I'm going to go ahead and solve that for. So what is 3 minus 2? It is going to be 1. So I'm going to put parentheses because we haven't finished with it. So there, then plus, and then I bring everything else down. Okay. Now, what follows after that is going to be exponents. I don't have any exponents, so I can skip that one. Then I have multiplication and division. Now, I do have a multiplication and I do have a division. But we go from left to right. So this is my left, and I'm going to move my weight this way, okay, to the right. So the first thing I see 30 divided by 5. So I'm going to do that first. I do have 10 times 1, but we're going to do that later. So 30 divided by 5 is going to be 6. So that's going to give me 6, and everything else comes down. So 10 times 1. Okay, now instead of doing the addition first, even though in this case it's not going to change my answer, I'm going to go ahead and do the multiplication. So 10 times 1 is 10. And finally, 6 plus 10 is the last thing, 16. And that's how you do PEMDAS. It's not really hard, it's super easy. Let's go ahead and do the next problem. C. Now, whenever you have a problem like written like this, it's going to be slightly different than the other one. Do the top part first, do the bottom part second, and then you do the division at the end. All right, so we don't have any parentheses on top, so we're going to do the exponent. What is 4 squared? Well, if I do my calculator, I know 4 times 4 is 16, and then minus 6 on the top. Then on the bottom, let's go ahead and do the parentheses on the bottom, which in this case is going to be my absolute value. What is 3 minus 2? It's going to be 1, right? I'm going to keep the absolute value because we still have multiplication sign here. And plus 1. All right, now let me put this one right here and make this one's bigger. That way we know that's an absolute value. We're going to do multiplication now because we're following order operations. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we have 1 plus 4 on the bottom. Okay, so all we have to do is simplify what we have. So on the top, we're going to have 16 minus 6 is 10. On the bottom, we're going to have what? 4 plus 1 is 5. And finally, we have to do the division. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. So my answer for this one is 2. Okay. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. That's how you're going to be doing PEMDAS for this assignment. Now, I want you guys to go ahead and do the other problems.